Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Mr. A, with my partner.
Sally Sasson in the building.
Yes, sir. And this is the set 6145. Tonight, we have a special guest as always, Brooklyn's own Pretty Lou. Is that you, Sal?
That's not me.
All right, let me turn this shit off. I don't want to keep hearing that. Yeah, Brooklyn's own promoter, personality, Brooklyn's own Pretty Lou. Host of Turn the Tables.
Turn the Tables. Heavy Hitters presents Turn the Tables on Instagram.
Yes, sir. And he will be hopping right on that show once he leaves us. But tonight, we're going to talk to Pretty Lou, find out everything about him, what made him, his trials, his tribulations, and his future endeavors. So I hope everybody is here tonight to have a good time and get to know somebody from our neck of the woods. And yeah. Let's have a good time, man. So, we're gonna run the track and then do our due diligence.
Yeah. Let's kind of move through it so we could get him in and get him off to do what he got to do.
No doubt. All right, let's go. Yeah. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the show. I'm your host, Mr. A. With that dude over there,
the bad guy, Sally Sasson,
the Black Cloud, and this is the
Chango,
the set 6145. And tonight we're going to be speaking to Brooklyn's own Mr. Pretty Lou. I'm glad everybody can make it tonight. Our brother Joey Santiago, we see you. I seen you with your top pieces on today that look real hard.
What's going on, Big Rig?
So, man, we were gonna have a guest from our neck of the woods, from Sunset Park. He broke a record, the first Latino in our purview, I would say, to get on BLS, Kiss, having Red Alert and Mr. Magic play a record that you broke, and being from Sunset Park is a huge accomplishment. And this brother was able to do that in 1989. And we reconnected through Instagram. We spoke briefly. We were having some conversations. He was ready to come on the show. And unfortunately, it was COVID, right?
Yes.
Yeah, he contracted COVID, and unfortunately, he passed away the day before yesterday. And it's a great loss because we didn't get to have the conversation with this brother. And we just want to share with everybody his services, when they're going to be held, so on and so forth, if you want to pay your respects. Our brother Blink, Emcee Blinko, a.k.a. Emcee Blinko. His name was Gus Fiol, and he was the owner and proprietor of Fiol Family Comics. Blink definitely loved to read. It's something that we did as teenagers, reading books about secret societies, cashless societies, Behold the Pale Horse, and our history, and so on and so forth. But comics was a huge thing in his life, and he grew his business over like 20 to 30 years. But it's just, it's a sad moment, So on Easter Sunday, that was the day we were set to have him on the show. We are going to have a tribute. We're going to pay tribute. We're going to pay homage. We're going to have some serious special guests that day. And I hope everybody can come out and just get a piece of Sunset Park history as we pay respect and we honor the memory of our brother, Mr. Gus Fiol, a.k.a. Emcee Blink.
Yeah, R.I.P. Gus. We spoke to him the day of the Super Bowl. We were trying to get him on, and he was like, "I didn't have my hair cut. I don't want to come on, this and that." And it just goes sometimes to show you, like, we try to give people, we kind of put things off, and don't look into now. Like, give people their flowers now, and give people their respect now, and show your love. Tell somebody you love them. Don't be afraid of it. We tried to figure the date, and I was like, "You dropped the Messiah. You got to come on Easter Sunday," and it was a go. Let's go. So we're gonna still continue to rock out that date for him, and it's gonna be a remembrance.
Most importantly, everybody should remember, especially with the guests that we're having on tonight, everybody keep in mind, man, and I'm going to tell you this. Stop holding fucking grudges. If this man didn't violate your wife or your children and it's some petty crock of shit, let it go and make up with them people and do what you do. Salute to Mr. Tylon Xavier Washington, the filmmaker, the brother. I see you, and we're going to chop it up. I know I haven't been on GoPro, but we're going to link up, and I definitely want to have you on the show. You already know that, but salute to Mr. Washington and his film. Ooh, it's something serious. So yeah, man, stop holding grudges, man. Let's start acting like we're fucking adults, and make shit right. So
hey, I want to give a quick congratulations, my man Pee Wee from Coney Island, aka the Pitbull. He had his baby boy Jackson, so I want to give him congrats, bro.
Oh, salute. We love babies. We love the babies, right?
Yes, sir.
All right. Mr. Chris Gill, we see you. All right, people, without further ado, we want to bring this brother on because, again, his time is limited. He has a show to go to afterwards. We're going to bring him on and have the conversation. So tonight, the set welcomes Brooklyn's own Mr. Pretty Lou. Yo.
What's going on, guys?
What's going on?
What's up, Lou? Thanks for coming on, brother.
Let me move my camera a little bit over because then y'all start seeing the little, the latches.
I see the Domino's delivery guy coming and shit.
As long as there's no cucarachas,
that's how his door opens. Okay.
Lou, what's good, man? I'm glad you could make it. We appreciate you giving your time to the show. A lot of people in the room saluting you. A mutual brother, Mr. Chris Gill, DJ C4, who was actually on your show. He's
all right.
Shouting you out.
I know I can't see the comments on, but shout out to everybody that's on here right now. I really appreciate everything.
Listen, we'll do it for you. We'll run.
Oh, okay. Oh, I like this, man.
This is the things that IG can't do.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Man, this is when I say IG sucks.
We were looking at different sort of platforms to plug us in simultaneously, like what we're doing here, but it's you violate your agreements, and they can deplatform you permanently for doing that. So we were like, we don't want to roll the dice.
It would be easy. We're in the cut
for sure. So Lou, let's start at the beginning, right?
Good.
You're from Brooklyn. You're from Park Slope. That's
right. Born and raised in Park Slope, Brooklyn.
All right. Salute to 3rd Street between 4th and 5th, right?
Yep.
The origins of Pretty Lou. So Lou, at what point in your life you're growing up, and I'm sure you got into dancing and all this other stuff, but when did you start to realize like, yo, I want to be in entertainment, or I want to be, a DJ or whatever it may be?
What started it all was
that was you. It all. No, that wasn't me. I was flashing comments. He disconnected. Yes, hello, 3rd Street, 4th and 5th, Mizanobi McCarter. We see you. My cousin, Mr. Esteban Quinones. You already know, the Park Slope brother, Day One A1, and my other A1 brother, Mr. Reggie Smith. We see you. Yo, bang Lou's line, man. Pause. Get him back.
There you
go. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's so good.
Let's rewind that.
My computer want to act up and want to stop doing pop-ups and all that stuff.
Gotta did the pop-ups. So where does the inspiration come for you to get involved in the business?
Well, growing up in Brooklyn and Park Slope, during those times, during those like 80s, the late 80s and early 90s, when hip hop was just becoming real. Like, I was growing up with Ecuadorian parents, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. With a single mother at that one time, and then my mom's met who I consider my father, but he's Cuban
B,
and all that, and growing up to their music, I don't know, people remember back in the days, my mother waking us up on a Saturday morning listening to Super Kaku. Remember that radio station?
Wow.
And,
wow.
like that's how back
Yeah.
we go when we're there. You know, my mother was always a music person.
Mm-hmm.
But my mother was also the type of. She was also a how can I say, like a back in the. She had that back in the day soul in her as well. Like she used to listen to Light FM, and there was a lot of music that just just listening from your parents.
Right.
And when I started,
Soulful.
so right. So my mom's was very Spanish, but she still had that soul and that like I'm in America. I want to listen to America.
I like to live in America. Like West Side Story and shit.
And just growing up listening to that and all that, and then when you start hearing new sounds, which was hip hop, and that was like in the '80s, late '80s. I was just like, wow, this is my music. Right. This is my era. And that's when I started falling in love. Like I started listening to the Curtis Blows, you know what I'm saying? To the Chuck B's. Right. The Curtis Blow, the Fat Boys, you know what I'm saying? Grandmaster Flash, you know what I'm saying? The Furious Five, and you start liking stuff like that. And then you start seeing movies that go into it, like The Warriors. Like Warriors was like one of my great movies growing up. And you start seeing Beat Street. You start seeing Crush Groove. And I just started breaking, and you just start falling more in love with the music and the culture. And it just got to a point that I became a real hip hop head. And then in the late '90s, early '90s, when I started going to high school, like I went to John Jay for 1 year. As we already know, if I only went 1 year, that means I got kicked out.
Jungle Jay.
Yeah, I went to Jungle Jay for 1 year, didn't make it there. My mom took me to my dad, my real dad at that time. He lived in Staten Island. I tried to go to Curtis. I went there for like 6 months. That didn't work. You know what I'm saying? And then I ended up going to high school of telecommunications in Bay Ridge.
What? You went to Teller?
I went to Teller. I was forced to go to Teller because they were like, "It's either you go there or you go to the the Annex in Red Hook."
Oh yeah, man.
And if I knew I went there, I was never gonna survive.
That's the little yellow bus with the helmet.
Yeah, like I knew I was never gonna survive. So I ended up going to Telly, and going to Telly, I started discovering more people, like people from Sunset Park. I started seeing I remember during those times, Park Slope and Sunset, Red Hook, they were not united. It was always a beef and all that stuff. So I was kind of a little scared sometimes because I was like, all right, I'm going to a school in Bay Ridge that's mostly all Sunset Park people, and I'm from Park Slope. And if they start hearing,
yeah.
But it was the other way around. I was actually becoming great friends with people from Sunset, and I started meeting the RNSs, which was mad cool with me and all that. And that's when I really started knowing music, because I remember them hanging out with the Terror Squad dudes from the Bronx. And I would always hear that hip hop was from the Bronx, So what I would do is I would take trips by myself to the Bronx. I would take trips, I would take the 4 train, take it to Yankee Stadium. I was just so infatuated with hip hop that I was doing everything on my own. And then I started getting to meet people. And, and back then, my mother was working 2-3 jobs, so I would still help out. Like I just posted something on my Instagram that I still remember, before my birthday, that I still remember me going to Pathmark. There was a Pathmark on what's that, like 12th Street and like 2nd Avenue.
By the under the highway.
Under the highway. And I remember going to Pathmark and I used to pack up groceries just to make extra money for me and to help out my mother as well. And what I used to do also was I started meeting people up in the Bronx, and then I started meeting promoters. I started meeting owners. Like I met Sal Batello. I started giving out flyers for parties.
For the freestyle parties.
For parties. And I remember going to my first club at the age of 16. I wasn't even supposed to be there.
I think that's all of us.
I wasn't even supposed to be there. And I went to the Fever for the first time, and I end up going to watch KRS-One. And I remember going to the Fever to see that, and I remember there was somebody on the microphone, and I forgot who it was to this day, and I saw how he had the crowd control, how he used to just say things on the microphone. It was him and the DJ, but he would just he would tell people, throw your hands in the air and wave them like you just don't, like he just stay, and the crowd was doing it, and I was like,
I like that.
I like that. And it was something that always just stuck on my head.
Right.
Don't get me wrong, the next day I caught the biggest beating of my life because my mother beat my ass. I was in the Bronx and got home at 4, almost 6 in the morning. But it was a beating that was worth it, because without that beating, I wouldn't be who I am now.
Right. And them trains don't run right either at those times.
Yeah, and I was riding them trains by myself. So, and the funny part is that I lived on the first floor, so I would sneak out.
Mm.
I put the pillows in the sneak out. Hopefully she don't come and touch the pillows and all that.
Wow.
But it was so worth it. And that's when I started realizing, oh, this is something that I wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then I remember going to Telly, and I remember going on the talent shows. Remember Telly had talent shows, and at first, of course, we all thought we were rappers. I thought I wanted to be a rapper.
What was your name? What was your rap name?
Oh, yeah.
I forgot what was my rap. I think it was Emcee Lou or something. I know I did a talent, one of them talent shows. I got up there, and I know if somebody has that video, please don't leak it, because I know I was horrible. But then, and Sally could tell you this, because Sally was a witness for a lot of my stuff when I was coming up, is that then after that, I started really making it into a hobby, and I started doing local stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't know if you guys remember, I was the local guy that used to go on the microphone when St. Rocco's had parties.
That was you?
Oh.
Wow.
I remember when St. Michael's used to have parties, and I was the guy. And Sally could tell you.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So I started doing.
He introduced Puerto
Ricans are standing. Maybe that was like 80 something, like 90 something, right?
Yeah, that was
80, early
80 something.
And actually, those were the parties that I got to start meeting a lot of people from other places. Because remember, some people from Williamsburg will come to those parties, or Bushwick and all that stuff.
Right.
But I used to love them because that was like once a month?
Like once a month, like once, sometimes like once once a month, every 2 months. I think Ox was involved with that. He's in the chat.
So. I think I saw Ox in here. I think so. I think Ox
Kenny Dope used to DJ those. Kenny Dope used to DJ there a lot.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Todd Terry, right?
Right. Who else? Harry Hash.
Harry.
That's who actually gave me my first break ever to get on a microphone. Because I remember Harry. If anybody knows Harry, try to get him in here, because I remember Harry back then. I was a little dude, and Harry was like, and I was like, yo, just give me the microphone, man. I know what I'm doing. And Harry would be like, no, man, get out of here. I know, like, until finally, right. Yo, eat it. You know what I'm saying? But until finally one day he was just like, yo, I'm going to give you this, but if you mess up one time, I'm going to fuck you up. But I didn't, And I started making it into a hobby. And of course, back then, I started, you start doing it for the girls. You start doing it, to get reckoned. I wanted to be that Papi Chulo. And I remember in late high school, I got my first car, which I got myself a sidekick. Oh. And it was just, it was so great. And so, but at the same time, I was also boxing.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Because that's something me and my brothers was doing since we were the age of 12.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But the boxing really, I got into a real big accident. That's another story, and the boxing never really went anywhere. But just the love of being on a microphone, it was just so great. It was so entertaining. It was something I always wanted to do. But like I said, I took it as a hobby first. But what made me really concentrate to another level, which was radio, was I remember back then, I used to have my own phone line. Because, back in the days, you had a phone line, your mother used to be like, yo, how long you gonna be on the phone? The phone bill, blah, blah, blah. And I used to go out there, hustle my own money, just so I could have my own phone line. And I remember talking, talking to different women, friends or whatever. And I remember I was talking to this one girl, and I would never forget that she was just, I hung up with her. I thought that was our last conversation. She calls me back, and I'm like, yo, why you calling me back? We just said goodbye. Like, I said, come on. And she was like, nah, I just want to hear your voice one more time. I'm like, why would you want to hear my voice? Because she's like, oh, but you have that raspy, berry white voice. Like, did you ever thought about doing radio? And actually, it's funny, but that's something that got stuck in my brain.
Right.
To this day.
So off this one conversation you had with this young lady, after all these, running here, running there, going to see shows, becoming inspired by the people that you're surrounding yourself with and things that you're participating in. You have this conversation with this woman, and she's like, I just want to hear your voice again because you should do radio. And you're like, yo, maybe I could do radio. That's a serious uphill battle for a brother, who doesn't pursue it as a career, like go to college and study communications and, go through those channels, to get an internship and sort of build yourself up. Right.
And I did it from the grounds up. I didn't go to school for radio.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I didn't do none of that. I know people that actually did all that and still not in the position that I'm in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But this is New York.
Yeah, you can make it happen here.
You can make it happen anywhere. So what I did was, after after college and everything, and then, of course, we're still young-minded. I had my first son at the age of 21, and I started not taking myself seriously. And I remember getting myself a 9-to-5 because I just had a kid. And
you want the secure bag. You're like, I got to get that money.
Plus, my mother and everybody was just like, yo, you need a job. You need to do this, you need to do that. You got a son now, and blah, blah, blah. So I got myself a good job. A lot of people knew, I used to work for UPS. I was a UPS driver. And at first I loved it. I was like, oh shit, I got a secure job. I'm wearing this brown uniform. I'm driving a truck.
Nigga, please, you work for UPS.
Yeah, I started looking at my check. I'm like, all right, But then again, I started hating the job. But what a coincidence that during that job, I was working in Midtown, and I ended up meeting some good people. And I ended up doing some part-time stuff for Trackmasters, for Sony.
Okay.
So I ended up working, shout out to Tone and Polk, and shout out to Alvon. If y'all don't know who Alvon is, he's actually the brother to Foxy Brown.
Is that sorry, Lou, Red Hot Lover Tone? Is that you talking about? The same dude?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. He used to live on State Street.
Yeah. The
original before Jay-Z.
I started working for him, and I started working for Rich Nice at that time. And this is when, Nas was signed to them, Foxy was signed, Cole Mega, and I was doing a lot of street stuff, and all that.
Oh, you doing promotions for them?
Right.
Okay.
But that's also how I started learning the industry.
Right.
And getting to meet people.
Rubbing elbows.
So to move forward, I end up a couple years later on, and mind you, this is still me having a 9-to-5 job.
Right.
I started doing side work for Jive Records.
Okay.
So I started, my boss was Puerto Rico Rob. If y'all don't know who Puerto Rico Rob is, he was my boss, and
Jive was Tribe Called Quest, right? Wasn't
No, Puerto Rico Rob. He was always an exec.
No, but Jive, that was Tribe Called Quest under the
Quest,
right. Jungle Brothers, maybe.
Yeah. And I started working records for them. I started working white label records. You know, I was a kid that was in the book bags with all the vinyls and going to see all the DJs.
Like record pools.
Right. And give right. There was no record pools at that time. At that time it was us. So it was like I would go to the club, and this is how I got to meet Enough. This is how I got to meet Camelo and all that, because I was the one giving them the records. And then I was also the listener, because then I also started breaking, like, you know, during those times, you know, Justin Timberlake got signed to Jive, Usher. It was a lot of good things. And also my brother Tony Sunshine.
Mm.
And then me and Tone got real close. And I ended up becoming his assistant. And then moving forward, that's how I ended up meeting Fat Joe and all that stuff.
So you're going through sort of a path of your own, so to speak. Like that's an original movement, especially for that time, because like you said, you know, Sully mentioned record pools, and you were like, nah, this is before the record pools. You're essentially the distributor, breaking records, and you're being able to meet all these people. Like that was the perfect pocket for you to make connections, because you're Lou the fucking record guy. Like,
did you know that at the time, Lou, that this is, or it was just like, oh shit, you know, like
it was like a work in progress. Like if I'm gonna do something in this industry and I'm gonna find that way, let me find out on how I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna just take it step by step, you know. And you know, it ended up working. It ended up working good and all that stuff. And then mind you, I was still hosting.
Right.
I was
UPS, breaking records, and hosting.
Yep.
You Jamaican?
Yeah, for real.
How many jobs you got, man?
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
Yo, Lou, what was your favorite spot to MC? Like what club? What, like, yo, this is it right here. Like, I love this spot right here. That you would be like, this is, you know.
When my first professional spot was Exit at that time.
Jesus Christ.
That's hundreds of people.
And let me tell you, may he rest his soul. The first DJ that I ever got on the mic with was Carl Blaze.
Carl Blaze. I remember Carl Blaze.
And I thought he was going to be a dick. I thought he was going to be, you know, one of them, shit, I'm on the mic with Carl Blaze. He don't even know who the fuck I am. And I remember him coming up to me and goes, you're the MC tonight. So here's the microphone. And I don't want you to be scared. And I want you to do exactly what I tell you. He could have been another person, but he actually led the way that night. And I thank him to this day. Like I always praise him all the time. Like Carl Blaze opened up the door for me. You know what I'm saying? And doing that spot and then doing it a year after was probably I will never forget, because I remember doing it with him and there was about 400 to 500 people in there.
Wow.
And then when I became the headliner a year after, and there was still about 400 or 500 people in there. So it's just a moment that you know, that's something that, you know, no matter how many stadiums I've done, that's something I will never forget.
Right.
That's something new to me, because I don't ever remember. Like I always remember DJs talking on the mic and, you know, whatever between the records, whatever. I never really remember like a separate dude. Like,
no, it was like that back then.
No, but I'm saying I don't remember.
Maybe you thought it was a DJ and it wasn't.
Oh, okay. Oh.
And you know what? That was a little not setback for me. That's what they used to praise a lot of DJs because of me, because they thought that DJ was the one on the mic.
Oh.
And a lot of DJs, I keep it real. I'm not even gonna hold my tongue. A lot of DJs used to run with it. And that's why in the early beginning of Pretty Loose stage, because Sally could tell you, Sally was a witness, I was a real asshole back then.
Listen, it takes a big man to admit when he's an asshole.
No, I was an asshole.
Maturity. That's maturity.
Sally could tell you, man. Sally, I remember.
I've been an asshole too, so
yeah. And Sally, I used to go, like, there used to be parties that Sally used to promote, right? But I knew Sully was not the head promoter. He wasn't the one paying me. But I used to step to Sally like, yo, Sally, what's up with this bastard right here? Like, it's either he gives me my full amount. Sally used to be, Lou, calm down. And Sally knew the bastard, Lou, you know?
It's all coming out, people. You hear it first. So, Lou, man, to hear this, this story is amazing because, again, like I never really understood that there was somebody behind the DJ saying like that because, if the places that we used to go to, it was either just straight music or if they talk, you kind of knew who it was. I mean, at least for me, you go to home base, you knew who was up there spinning and you knew his voice. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So this is something new, but to hear it from you is exciting to a degree. Thinking about it in that time, the way you were moving, like, man, that's such an amazing opportunity for yourself. And you definitely carved out a niche because everybody knows who the fuck you are. You know what I mean? And to be at this point now, especially now with the environment we're in COVID, what do I'm assuming that, Turn the Tables became your new project because of the environment we're in and you're trying to do different things. And, am I feeling that out right or?
No, you are. If it wasn't for the pandemic, Turn the Tables would never existed.
Really?
Because I was so busy.
Mm-hmm.
I was so busy and I was so all over the place. Like, I was the Carmelo of the microphone.
Right.
I was doing 3 clubs a night.
Shit.
Every night, almost every weekend.
Right.
I wasn't catching breaks. I was here or I'm doing Jersey or I'm flying out to Orlando or Miami or I'm going, you know what I'm saying? I was doing stadiums, doing shows with Fat Joe, doing shows with French, doing shows, with so many people, A Boogie, then me running around doing my own show, which I was doing every year, it was just so, I was doing so much. Then not even that, then you got my, radio, doing my Hot 97 stuff and doing the Sirius XM stuff. And it was just so much. But when this pandemic came, when all this happened, it put a pause on everybody's life.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't a great way to pause because we lost a lot of people. We lost a lot of great friends. I saw, we lost somebody just recently to COVID. We lost we lost a great friend named is Meg,
Mm-hmm. Oh, wow.
And besides that, losing, Fred the Godson, I lost a lot of people. I lost my aunt.
Wow.
To COVID.
Sorry for your loss, man.
And it was a bad way, but it was a wake-up call too. Because I'm not going to sit here and tell you I had the puzzles, all the pieces together. I didn't, because when we all stopped, when everything stopped, I was really sitting down on this chair and this table like, what am I going to do now?
Mm-hmm.
Like my bread and butter just completely went on hold.
Right.
No hay pan, no hay mantequilla.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's like, what the hell am I going to do? And, my wife, she was stopped. Like it was just stopped. Like I couldn't say, oh, I'm going to depend on her income. And plus I'm one of those old school guys that I'm not going to depend on that either. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, Lou, let me stop you there for a second. Because I want to ask you what I feel to be a very important question. Hearing you talk about what this pandemic did to your life, losing people, putting your income on hold. Have you reevaluated your approach to business and what you're seeing and how you're going to move in the future? Because even if we come out of this, let's just say, for instance, let's say we go back to being regular schmegular. Are you still going to go head first like you were before? Or are you going to start putting your eggs in different baskets?
No, I'm different businessman now.
Okay.
Super different. Now I'm going to go and really be a boss. I was a boss, but now I'm going to be a boss. I went everything over because this actually taught me how to really put yourself and market yourself and what's your value. I never gave myself a value.
Mm.
And after all this, now I know what's of value to yourself.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's definitely totally different.
Gotta diversify your bonds, nigga.
Yo, Rebecca's watching this. Be careful, bro. She'll say you the boss.
Salute to the boss, Rebecca. In the
He's holding my wallet right now. Don't worry about it.
Wow. But yeah, you know, I think that's very important for somebody like yourself and everybody in general. You got to find the lesson in the tragedy. And I don't think a lot of people are taking the time to do that. So
no, I keep it. It took like maybe a day or two or so. And I remember one night I was in my couch. You know, there's nights that I hardly go to bed, get too much or whatever. And I was watching TV, and I was watching the Game Network. That there's a network that shows all the games.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going through my phone out because I was like, I want to find something that I could post up on my gram, like an old picture or whatever. And I bumped into a picture that I was with a kid that I remember I was helping out. And when I saw that picture and I really, really paid attention to it, and that's when it clicked, and that's when Turn the Tables was born.
Mm.
Wow.
And that's when I started saying, all right, so this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go on Instagram Live because it was a week after D Nice did what he did.
He really cut his teeth on that shit.
Right. And I was like, all right, so I'm going to do what D Nice does. But then I'm like, hold up. I'm not a DJ. I can be if I want to. And I could if I want to. But that's not me. Right. I said, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to put 2 DJs on my platform every day and let them DJ. But then I said, hold up. I'm not going to make it easy for them either. Because then if I put them on my platform, they're going to gain all my stuff. And then for free? No. You know what? I'm going to do something better. I'm going to make them work for it. And that's when I started watching these game shows during the night. And I started developing a game show DJ. I was like, all right, so now I'm going to get 2 upcoming DJs. They're going to battle it out. All right, they're going to do 2 10-minute sets because I was watching one show that was coming up with like categories and all that. They're going to do this. And then I started watching a show called Press Your Luck. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, the whammy.
With the whammy.
Whammy, son.
You about to put that shit on here.
Right. So the whammy came out and was like, took away the money. But at the same time, when that was going on, I remember, what's a whammy for a DJ? I tell you a perfect whammy. When you're in a club and you're DJing, for pure example, like if I'm DJing and Sally walks in and Sally goes, yo, I want to hear this song from Mark Anthony. And I look at Sally and I'll be like, huh? Yo, Sally, I'm sorry, my brother. I don't have that record. Sally's going to leave mad because I don't have that special Mark Anthony record. You know what that's called?
That's a whammy?
It's called a monkey wrench.
Okay.
And that's how the monkey wrench was born in my show.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining the show, I'm your host, Mr. A, with my partner,
Sally Sassong in the building.
And tonight we're talking to Brooklyn's own, the voice of New York City, Mr. Pretty Lou. And he's basically laying it all out on how he bounced back from COVID and developed his show, Turn the Tables. And the whole concept of it is pretty interesting because, man, I don't think I've ever thought of even myself as a game show, a hip hop game show, and then having 2 DJs. That's super dope and interactive. That's a dope concept. And Lou, what are you hoping now that this show, because a lot of people are really watching the show, and young people.
I average now to about 20 to 30,000.
What are you hoping to do with the show? Like, what would be the pinnacle for
moving forward?
Apex, in the future.
My goal was, I had no goal in the beginning.
Right, of course.
To do that.
Uncharted waters, like
right. my second goal was for the culture, doing it for the DJs, especially DJs now.
Mm-hmm.
Third goal was to teach these younger guys how to be a real DJ.
No Seratos.
But then after the third season and the fourth, when people started really saying, yo, this show needs to be on TV. The DJ culture really needs this. This needs to be on TV. So, of course, now our new goal, well, it wasn't even new. It's, one of our final goals is hopefully we could get this show on TV and go where it really belongs. And I've been proving that with the past 2 championships that I've been doing it, because my last 2 championships, especially the last one I just had, we do it from Instagram Live, but we don't do it the way I do it for the regular season. I actually hire, me and Def Jam, shout out to Def Jam Records, because Def Jam has been a part of this since day one. We hire a production team, and when you go see championship night, it actually looks like you're watching a game show.
Nice.
Wow. Would you want to pitch platforms as opposed to live TV? Like, would you like to do like an Amazon Prime or
it doesn't matter to me.
Netflix? You just want to have it on that kind of level.
That bag, wherever that bag's at.
It doesn't matter. Like we even, like there's a couple ideas that we have that I don't want to say it,
Absolutely.
No, you don't do that.
There's a lot of stuff that we could do with the show. A lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like you got shout to Swiss Beats, shout to Timberland. Like they sold the verses and still are partners.
Yep.
To Triller.
Yeah.
Anything can come out of this.
Yeah.
Anything could come
Absolutely.
out of it. As long as I always tell people, whoever I sit down with, is like, I don't want to lose the essence of the show and the culture for it. That's the most important thing.
You got to maintain ownership, homie.
Keep it authentic.
No matter what you do, you want to sell some. All right, cool, but you got to keep that lion shit.
Oh, no, I ain't doing it. My bro Nick Cannon. I love Nick. But I ain't Nick Cannon.
Yeah. Well, we voted Nick Cannon at what point, right? But whatever.
Well, we know. Lou, we know. You're one of the hardest workers, obviously, from just hearing your story, and I know, like you said, me and you spoke. We spoke for years. We always talked, and I had told you, you were inspiration to me. Like I seen all the stuff you were doing when I went through my battle with Castleman's, going through my battle. That I was like, man, like Lou just going. You know what I mean? And I kind of, I just wanted to give you your flowers on here about what you've done and continue to do, brother. So
thank you so much. Really, I'm always gonna say this. I'm not just me, but you too, Selly, and everybody else in this world who's battling a disease. It doesn't have to be cancer. It could be anything. We're all here on this earth for a purpose and a reason. You know what I'm saying? I've been fighting it for 7 years. I'm gonna always say this. My battery pack, of course, is my family, between my wife, my mother, my kids. You know what I'm saying? My closest friends, but even my fans, like even the people who support me, who I don't even know from a hole in the wall, are the battery pack to Pretty Lou. And one thing I always taught myself, that I'm never want to fall into a black hole, because when you fall into that black hole, that's when the disease gets you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Some of this, of course, is a disease that attacks inside your body, but most of the time the trigger's here.
Mm-hmm.
And once you start falling into that black hole, and I've seen it with my own eyes, because being in a cancer room, being in a cancer floor with so many people, you get to meet people and everything. And then a week later, because you saw them fall into that black hole, they end up passing away, and you don't, that's a position that you never want to put yourself in.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I believe in that motto. I have cancer, but the cancer don't have me. I'm still going to continue doing what I'm doing. If I still have the strength and the ability to do what I need to do, I'm going to go forward and keep doing it. I'm going to show, I'd rather show y'all that it looks like I don't have nothing.
Right.
But I really do.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Unless you ask me. you know, and that's, you know, a lot of stuff that I post on my social media, you know, I posted just to keep people inspired and keep people going, because you never know what's the next person is going through right now.
That's
Maybe they needed that lift. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they needed that picture of me in front of 50,000 people saying, you know, giving them my little quotes.
No,
And
for
for
sure.
them to wake
You
up.
definitely helped me, brother. Definitely helped me when I was
You
going
know
through my
what I'm saying?
radiation and everything. I was like, wow.
And just, you know, you just need stuff like that. And it was almost taken away from my family 2 years ago. Like, I actually faced the devil, you know, but God brought me back, and brought me back for a reason. I still don't know why. I don't know what reason. Maybe the reason is to start this Turn the Table show and put it, you know, or it could be so many things. But whatever reason it is, whatever I'm working on or I haven't worked on yet, I'm going to give it my 100%. You understand what I'm saying? And sometimes it doesn't even, you know, it's not even about the money either. Like, money, I'll go get it somewhere. Fame, I really don't care. I care about it when we were younger, yeah. I just want, how can I say? I want
security for the family, like,
right, of course, to secure my family, number one. And two, I'd rather be known on a high school textbook than not be known at all.
Louis, some of the things that you said, of course, are going to strike to with everybody, but I think that there's something that you keyed in on that a lot of people overlook is having a positive mentality, and how direly important it is for you to have the right mindset to keep yourself physically healthy, right? Because it does. The mind is a strong thing. I've witnessed a lot of shit in my life that I'm like, oof, that person has a very strong will and a threshold for certain things because of what's here. Yeah. You know, so I think people really need to tap into that. We're resilient. You know what I mean? And
you know what I want to tell people, whoever's watching us right now, whoever's here, is that find yourself first before you go help others.
yes, sir.
You know how when you go, you know what's funny, me and my wife, we went away, and we were on a plane. You know how the plane says, before you put a mask on somebody else, put the mask on you first.
Yeah.
And when that person said that, when the airline guy said that, it struck me. I was like,
struck him that he left
the room.
Damn it, Lou.
Damn it, Lou. We was gonna join on that point right.
He wasn't lying. He had his time.
He's like, I gotta go. There he goes. All right, go ahead. Here you go.
Damn it, Lou.
It struck you. That what he said.
Right. And it struck me because it's true. You can't help others until you help yourself.
It's like you can't love anybody unless you love yourself either. Ever important. If you don't know who the fuck you are, what you gonna do for anybody else?
And there's people that help so many other people, but you're still in the same position. And sometimes I'll get people coming up to me saying, yo, I did this, I did that, I did this and that. And then I'll be like, all right, but what did you do for you now? And he'll be like, well, shit, you're right.
I saw like a mean quote, Chris Rock thing, whatever, and he was like, help yourself before you help someone. You know what I mean? Like, he was like, I ask somebody for a lift or whatever, but he's like, you see me pushing my car and people will come help me. Whatever. Like, it was something like that. But I'm like, you know what? It makes sense. Like, people want to see you trying to help yourself.
For sure.
Because you're not going to give them that, if anything. And it's true when people say, why give advice if I haven't even took my own advice?
Right. There's the motherfuckers that want to tell you how to do something they ain't never did nothing before, and all sorts of funny shit.
So Lou, we know you got to get out of here real soon.
Like this, like, why would a dude who's been standing on the same corner for 20 something years come and tell me what to do with my life.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Broke people don't give out good financial advice. Yo, I know Sonny was gonna do it. I'm gonna step on it. Lou, I know you pressed for time, so I think we're at the perfect point. But before you go, we just want to let you know you're part of the fam. You ever want to come on and kick it, promote something, bring us some breaking news about you and what you're working on? This is your platform. All you gotta do is hit the line, and you hear.
Thank y'all. Thank to the boss lady for getting on my ass.
Rocket, thank you.
Wait, let's give her the propers. Salute to Rebecca.
Two things before we let you go. I wanted to run real quick.
Mhm.
Where were you, like, when El Presidente reaches out, or did you know off ahead of time, or did he surprise you when you were becoming a heavy hitter?
Let me tell you the story real quick. Don't worry about it. The show can wait another 10 minutes.
Sorry, Rebecca.
So I was at McDonald's in Park Slope. I was actually getting food. I was getting food for myself. I remember. Also, I was getting. Oh yeah. So we had a Hot 97 meeting, and I remember going to see my mom, and I was like, all right, I gotta rush. I gotta get into the city because I got this meeting. But before I do that, I gotta eat. I gotta get something to eat. So I parked, and I was in McDonald's. So I'm in McDonald's. I'm online, and I hear my phone just keep it buzzing. It keeps buzzing, and I'm like, yo, why? So I'm looking at my phone, and I see people congratulating me on text, just text. Yo, congratulations, you deserve it. This congratulations, blah, blah. And I'm like, what the fuck people talking about? Like, I can't have kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, kids. Man, like, I didn't know what was going on. So I was like, I still didn't like try not to pay because I already got in front and I'm ordering my food. So once I ordered my food and I paid and I saw the girl, you know, when they go and start doing prepping your stuff, I was like, all right, let me go on my social media and see what the hell's going on. And I'd seen the congratulations and I looked and it was a flyer saying, congratulations, you're a heavy hitter. Bro, I'll keep it real. This is a true story. I dropped. They gave me my food at the same time that I saw the flyer. And I was like, and I dropped all my food on the floor.
God damn. You got to hit him, son.
I disrespected Grimace so badly.
That's terrible.
And I ended up paying because I looked at the girl and the girl was like, that's not our fault.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I was just so happy. I'm like, I don't care. Give me another one. I'll pay for it again.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
But it was just it was a dream come true. It was something that first of all, I wasn't never expecting.
Right.
Because Enough or Camelo, I never ran to them and said, yo, I want to be heavy. I want to be, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
In my mind and in my heart, I always said, if I'm going to be, first of all, if I'm going to be in a crew, it will be the heaviest. If I'm not going to be in, like, besides being, you know, TS with, you know, that's family. That's not even a crew.
Right.
My Terror Squad with Fat Joe, that's family. Mm-hmm. But to be on a DJ crew, if there's going to be a DJ crew, it's going to be the heaviest. Nobody else. I'd rather, and the best part is that Pretty Lou was established by Pretty Lou.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it took almost 20-something years to be a heavy hitter. And a lot of people was like, damn, it's about time, you know. And you know what I tell people now? It's not about time. It came at the correct time.
Right.
You want to know why it came in the correct time? Because it came during a time when I busted my ass to become who I am. It wasn't made. Pretty Lou didn't become Pretty Lou because I was with this person, this. Pretty Lou became Pretty Lou because of Pretty Lou.
He grinded.
Yeah, the hustle.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it actually came in the perfect time.
Yeah,
and all that stuff. But becoming a heavy, that's
the ultimate. Right
have
there.
that
That's sweet.
stamp, and it's more than a stamp. It's just like I said for Joe and them.
Yeah.
It's a family. Enough has been my big brother for years. Carmelo's been my big brother for years. Before even all this heavy hitter stuff, like we've known each other and we all became family. As I could call Enough anytime. I could call Carmelo anytime. I could call any of my heavy hitter brothers. You know what I'm saying?
Respect.
And it's a family thing. It's you really is a respect, and all that stuff. And I love it, and I love them here.
No, they're the goats, definitely.
And the best part is, I'm the first dude from Park Slope coming out of there.
For real.
Being a heavy hitter.
Dope.
Being on Hot 97. Having my own show on Sirius XM Hip Hop Nation. And then now having the #1 Instagram DJ game show.
Keep going.
Over years and years of hard work, and it's culminating now into this sort of apex for you. And it's amazing to watch, man. We definitely salute you. Yeah. And just keep doing what you do, Lou.
Continue success, brother. Thank you for coming, bro.
Thank you. And one little plug before I'm allowed to say it. In a couple of weeks, I'm actually going back to Park Slope. In a couple of weeks, myself and Foot Locker. Okay, myself and Foot Locker. We're going to be going to my stomping grounds of Park Slope, and we're going to be giving away 200 pairs of sneakers to kids.
That's what's up.
Nice.
That's what's up,
man. So if you guys make sure you follow me on Instagram at PrettyLou11. Also follow Foot Locker. We'll have more details hopefully within the next two weeks. So for the information, as I go back, Foot Locker hit me up and they wanted to do something real, something good with me. And we're going to end up going back to my hood to give away some sneakers to kids that really
deserve it. Awesome, man.
What's up?
At PrettyLou11, right? At PrettyLou11.
Yep.
Guys, follow him on the IG. You want to check out the show. Also, Turn the Tables coming into season what? 5?
Going season 5. We start April 26th. April 26th, we come back with season 5.
Let's go, people. Lou, again, man, we appreciate your time. Platform is yours whenever you need it, whenever you want to share. You just hit the line. And
y'all too, man. Sally, thank you. Love you, man. Sally,
I love you, my brother.
If anybody see me, my hustle, and seeing the struggle, the sweat, blood, tears, is that man right there.
Absolutely, brother.
That man right there could tell you all the everything that I've been in the position that I'm in.
Appreciate you, bro. Thank you. Tell the fam I said hello.
Yes, definitely. Fellas, thank you so much. I appreciate everything.
You already know. Pretty Lou, people. Pretty Lou. Stand by, Lou. Yo, Cell. Man.
Yeah, man.
Talk about grind.
Yes.
Right?
No, real hustle, man.
A lot of brothers in the room bringing up stories about Lou's movements. So, wow.
Yeah, it's not fabricated, it's a real story. I mean, there's so much we could touch on too, with the Joe stuff and things, I wanted to get into the Big Pun way, but that's cool.
I was holding a lot back.
I know he gotta do his thing too, but we appreciate his time for, giving us the time to come on. And hope everybody had a good time with it, man.
Yeah, you'll see us this coming Sunday. What's your man's name that's coming through?
Sunday, I got the Yankees hitting coach. He's a minor league hitting coach, Kevin Martier. He's from Brooklyn. He played in Severian High School, and he ended up leaving that. Went to public schools. I think he won championships in both. But I let him tell his story. Mm-hmm. But we keep grinding, man. Like I said, just show. Care for people and let them know you love them while they're here, man. You never know.
And fucking let go of grudges. Petty Crocker shit doesn't work. Let it go. You know what I'm saying? Sit down at the table like adults.
Just think to yourself, like, yo, if this person dies today, am I good with it? Or am I going to be at the funeral like, damn, man, I ain't talked to him or whatever, or vice versa. So that's how I look at it.
Exactly. So cut that shit out. Sully, we getting the fuck up out of here, man.
You got it, bro. Go sleep.
We out, people.